The 22 students in health class conducted an experiment in which they each recorded their pulse rates in beats per minute before and after completing a light exercise routine. The dot plots below display their results. So we have this dot plot, beats per minute before exercise, beats per minute before exercise for the second data set. And then we go on to the question part. Let S1 and R1 be the standard deviation and range respectively of the data before exercise, and let S2 and R2 be the standard deviation and range respectively of the data after exercise. Which of the following is true? So the keyword here that might be probably newer to us is standard deviation, and maybe the word respectively. And respectively just means in that order. So if you're listed, if two things are listed, S1 and R1 be the standard deviation and range. These two things I mentioned, standard deviation and range, respectively. It means S1 goes with standard deviation and R1 goes with range. So in the order in which things were mentioned is what respectively means. Now, range, we've probably seen this before, and we talked about range being the maximum number minus this minimum number. So max minus min is range. So in fact, why don't we calculate the range for the beats per minute before exercise? The maximum number here is 88, subtract 56. So for the first data set, it'll be 88 minus 56, and that happens to be 32. And let's do that same thing for the second data set. We have a maximum of 112 and a minimum of 80. So 112 take away 80 for the second data set is 32. So there's a tie. The ranges are the same for both, so we really can't tell which is bigger, so that's a tie so far. Now, just by answering that one part, we can eliminate some of these incorrect answers, right? We know that R1 at this point is the same thing as R2. Remember, R is range. So the only choices that show R1 equal to R2 are choice A and D. So we can eliminate B and C right now. So let's go on and think about the standard deviation. Standard deviation means how close or how far apart you are from the mean, from the center, right? So looking at the first data set, you know, the beats per minute before exercise, the numbers are right here. This is like the center of them. And then you look and see there's just a bunch of numbers to the right, and maybe just one. And then over here, a bunch of numbers, and then just one of them, and then one further out like this. Compare that to the second data set, where again, the center is like right here, and you have some numbers here, here, and here, and here. So you see that the second data set, the numbers are more spread out. There's more numbers that are further away from the center. So the further away numbers are from the center, the bigger the standard deviation is. So we can say without any shadow of doubt that this second data set has a bigger standard deviation. So we can say S2 is bigger than S1. That's a fact. But when you look at the choices, that's not an option. It is saying, however, so it's saying that S1 is not equal to S2. And we also know that that is a fact because there's just more points that are spread out here than there are here. So that makes D the correct answer to this question, and A is not.